Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this doesn't work. It's game day morning, and fortunately for our Cowboys, we've already beaten down the Washington Redskins. We are done with them. And we now have a 3-1 record in our division with 2 games left to go in there. We got a tough game coming up against the New Orleans Saints, but we can kick back today and watch the Giants and the Eagles beat the heck out of each other. Wouldn't it be nice to have a tie? Can a brother get a tie today? How about that one? But we had Philly 500 last night, basically telling us that the Eagles were going to get right and kick the Giants' butts, and we had, of course, the stinking New York Giant fan Rashid on here as well, saying that basically Shaquille Barkley, Shaquille Barkley is going to be carving up that Eagles defense. So we'll try and see if we can get the two of those together after the game today or tomorrow, and one of those two will be happy and one of them will be sad. But check out those videos because they were a lot of fun and stuff. But the Dallas Cowboys and my quarterback Dak Prescott. The funny thing about the Cowboys is no matter what happens, the bar gets moved. Oh, yeah, it's okay. They did something good here, but they won't do X. At the beginning of the season, we heard about how bad and pathetic Dak Prescott was, and his numbers were awful. I mean, let's face it. I'm a Dak Prescott fan. I'm behind him 100%, okay? Um, but let's be honest. What we were getting the first part of the season was not NFL quality in any stretch of the imagination. And when you look at our numbers now, they still aren't that great. I mean, let boy, I just cringe when I even think about how bad it was. But if you took Dak Prescott, and this is one of the things I've been saying for a while, I said this probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I said, understand that we didn't get into this rut overnight. It took a while to get there, but we are climbing our way out of it. I said Dak is getting better as the season was going on. The Dak haters out there basically said, man, you're an idiot. How in the world do you see anything? Dak sucks. He's a bum. Get him out of here. There's no way in the world you can think about signing him to a contract. I'll take anybody. I'll take Teddy Bridgewater. I'll take Sam Bradford over Dak Prescott. That was some of the things and comments, true fact, that I heard about Dak Prescott. And I said, listen, you got new people. You don't have a Dez Bryant. You don't have a Jason Witten. You've got an antiquated offense, and you're trying to learn all these things, and you have an offensive line in flux. And all I heard was, you're making excuses for Dak Prescott. You just won't admit that Dak Prescott sucks. Okay, well, truth be told, the first 3 games of the season was pathetic. 106. This is what he averaged first 3 games: 166 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, and a 77 QBR. And that is, I can't disagree with that. That was awful. The Dallas Cowboys offense was in terrible shape. But I think maybe the Dallas Cowboys are beginning to peak, and it might be for once at the right time. Because since that time, check this out. The last 3 games, let's take the last 3 games. We're talking about the Eagles, division rival, hated. They're always tough games. On the road. The Atlanta Falcons, on the road. And the Washington Redskins, who were 2 games up on you. Now, keep in mind, the Redskins have the number 6 rated scoring defense in the NFL. Dak's numbers the last 3 games: 255 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions, and a 103 rating. And I know the haters out there will say, well, he's not throwing for 300 yards, man. It's only 255 yards a game. That ain't shit. Excuse my language. But do you know, interesting fact, and if you don't believe me, feel free to look it up. But in 2014, that season that you could say the officials robbed us of the catch no catch, even though I still say that was 4th and 1, and maybe with DeMarco Murray you run the ball for the first down and try and run down the clock and keep working it down the field so you don't leave time for Aaron Rodgers. Kind of the same mistakes we're still making. But be that as it may, if that was deemed a catch, you're in the NFC Championship game. Maybe you go to the Super Bowl. In that season, which Des Bryant had his best year ever and got his big contract, Tony Romo was the talk of the town, and statistically, his best year, touchdowns and interceptions. Do you know in that season, he only had one 300-yard game? Only one 300-yard game. In fact, if you go through the numbers, the 37 and 5 yards for the season, he only averaged 231 yards a game. Fact. And I don't want to hear you guys saying I'm manipulating statistics. That's what Tony Romo averaged per game in 2014. Because that's the way this offense is designed. This offense is designed not to be high flying, high scoring, launch it deep every time. You got road raiders at offensive line that are meant to run. You have a bellwether cow in Zeke Elliott to run the football. You control the clock, keeping your defense rested so when they come in and the other team is forced to be a passing offense, a one-dimensional offense, you can turn the dogs loose with the pass rush. Like it or hate it, that's what it's designed to do. And here's the amazing thing, because when we look at, and I don't know if you guys can see this chart or not, but this is scoring offense, and it's crazy. Because in 2018, you're looking at the New Orleans Saints averaging 37 points a game, which is unbelievable. That's just crazy. You see Kansas City averaging 36. You see the Rams averaging 35. Pittsburgh 29, Indianapolis 29, Chicago 28, New England 28, Tampa Bay 26, and Chargers. I can go on and on and on. We don't get down to the Dallas Cowboys until 21st on the season. And that's the number that all the talking heads will follow on, okay? They'll say the Cowboys can't score enough points to keep up. They're 23rd in the NFL in scoring on the season. But see, even though we as fans look at the season and say it's 16 games and it seems like it's really short, the season changes and evolves a whole lot. Sometimes it's not the best team that makes it to the Super Bowl. It's the team that's the healthiest and plays the best at the end. And this is where I think the Dallas Cowboys are peaking. Because if we look at that 21.3 points, 23rd in the NFL, here's what's interesting here. This number right here is over the last 3 games. So you all of a sudden see the Cowboys have actually averaged 26.7 points a game the last 3 weeks. All do or die situations. I'm not saying that's as good as the 37 that New Orleans is getting. But you see, the first 3 games we played, we averaged 13.3. We have doubled that offensive output from the first 3 to the last 3. And if that trend continues, as Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott start working together a little bit more, and people start saying, we've got to stop, because I guarantee you, people are going to be double teaming now Amari Cooper. That means your Cole Beasleys. That means your Allen Hurns, your Michael Gallups will be one-on-one. And because Zeke Elliott is eating everything in sight, now you got to worry about that. So at the moment, for a defensive coordinator, it's pick your poison. You want Zeke Elliott to beat you? Or do you want Allen Hurns to beat you? Or if you try and cover both of those, you put 8 men in the box and double team him, you got single coverage or maybe nobody on the other guys. And that's where Amari Cooper has made all the difference in the world in this offense. And to me, you have the opportunity to get better and better. Oh, and one other thing, too, here. When you look at New Orleans' 37.2 points a game, I went through and looked at all the defenses they faced. And when you start looking at facing like the Atlanta Falcons, who are 29th in the NFL in defense, twice. When you look at facing Tampa Bay, twice, that's 32nd in defense. If you average out the teams that they played, their defensive rankings by scoring, it's 21st in the NFL. They haven't been playing the cream of the crop. On the flip side, the Dallas Cowboys have played 6 games with teams that are in the top 10 defense. We averaged 13.3. Competition does matter. And I believe that for once, we're getting better as the season goes on, and we're going to be peaking right around playoff time. So, friends, do not sleep on the Dallas Cowboys. And I know I'm getting joked on by all of the Saints fans that are now in here telling me how much of an idiot I am, but it's not the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. But we'll see what we're going to see on Thursday. I'm not ready to say we get an L. I think it's going to be a lot better game than a lot of people do. So, guys, enjoy your game day. I've got some running around to do. I got to go take care of Mama. And I'll be right here watching the game. I might even live stream a bit. And I'm definitely going to troll Philly 500 during the game. I'm Mark Holmes with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And I will see you guys soon.